Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the One More Thought podcast. My name is Heath, and so excited that you're here as we continue talking about healthy habits. This podcast is all about following the sermon series we're in here at Church on the Rock. And so I'd encourage you to make sure you've watched this sermon before the podcast so you're kind of up to date with what we're talking about. And I'm excited to have my favorite person in the world with us today, Pastor Kelsey, my wife. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Felt like I needed to say my wife because if they didn't know, that would kind of freak us out. And we get the honor and privilege of talking about something that I probably think we value more than almost anything in the world, our healthy habits in the area of parenting. Yep. Tell everybody about our kids, what season of life we're in, where we're at, and what it looks like right now for us.
Yeah, I think we're in a really fun season.
Yeah.
It may look chaotic, but it's really fun.
Expensive. Go ahead.
We have 4 kids. They are 17, 15, 12, and 9. We have 3 girls, and our youngest is a boy. Yeah. And there is never a dull moment, is what I would say. Yeah. You know, people look at our lives, and it seems completely chaotic, but I wouldn't trade this season for any other. Yeah. I mean, the toddler season was probably more chaotic. It was just different. It was a different season, but we're having a lot of fun, I would say.
Let me say this. If you're in the toddler season, when they can bathe themselves, clothe themselves, and sleep all night, it just takes your world to a new level. There's definitely obstacles when we get to this age, and it's all different. But man, when you can't sleep all night, it is hard to parent. And so if you're in that season, just know, hang in there. If you need a night off, call Kelsey. She can send
the girls over.
Just kidding. Yeah, we'll send the girls over. We're sleeping all night. So, hey, we want to talk to you about a couple things that we've done. And these are not new revelations. These are just things that we've seen a lot of power in. We have 4 kids. It's crazy busy. And so we want to talk to you about a couple different habits that we've used. The first one is this, and this sounds old school. It sounds very old school, but I think it's amazing. We have a habit of family dinner, at least once a week. Now I would say our schedule is multiple times a week. When we are together, we sit down and we have dinner together. Most of the time it's at our dinner table at the house. We don't let our kids just make their plates and go wherever they want to and eat. We see that as a very, very important time for us all to be together. Wow. Even when Kelsey bought the house, she was very passionate about the type of dinner table. We have a round dinner table, so it doesn't feel like there's a head of the table, so we're all sitting together. And tell them what family dinner looks like in our family.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be fancy.
Yeah.
Our family is pretty simple. I do love my round table just because it's easier to make eye contact. And like you said, there's no head of the table or there's no, it's just no beginning, no end. So we, it's always simple. We put the food out, they make their plates, we sit down, and they know family dinner it's their time. They did tell us a couple years ago, they said, anytime we have family dinner, y'all want to get on to us or tell us something. And so we really shifted our thinking in that. And we were like, this was our one time all together. And so we would just lay out some ground rules or talk about whatever was the issue so that we could tell all 4 at the same time. And so we've really shifted away from that to this being a time for them to share with us, whatever's been on their heart that maybe they've been thinking about but haven't stopped to tell, or that they want to just tell everyone one time, so it might be a tough matter. It might be a really exciting thing, whatever that looks like. So we allow the kids to share first. And then if we need to share anything, we can, not in a disciplinary way, but hey guys, we're entering a really busy season, or this week is looking a little crazy. Let's all make sure that we do these things.
Yeah.
And so it looks different each time, but I think it's become a safe place that our kids know they can sit down and share whatever they want to share.
Yeah.
And it's a safe place. You're not going to get grounded at the dinner table for the most part.
No, it has been such an amazing time to hear them, for them to hear us. I'll give you an example. Our last family dinner, we were talking, we were laughing. Now we've got a couple on our list that want to do a lot of the talking, and we got a couple that don't do much talking. So we kind of got to navigate the conversation. Hey, Maddie, I want to hear from you. Hey, Peyton, I want to hear from you. But the last family dinner, we were talking all that stuff, and we just we've told our kids a few things just so they understand that when I'll ask them, how many kids are at this table? And they'll say 4. And I'm like, how many parents are at this table? And they'll say 2. Yeah. And I'm like, great. Here's what you need to know. We are entering Maddie's senior year. And so while we want to be at everything for everybody, Maddie is going to be a priority this year because this is her last year to do a lot of things. And that doesn't mean we don't love you. It means we care for you. Yeah. But if we have an opportunity to be at Maddie's stuff, we're going to be at Maddie's stuff. And so we just want y'all to understand that. Do you guys understand that? Yeah, we understand it. We're so excited for Maddie. And it's really a safe place to ask questions, to talk about things. What was amazing is probably a couple years ago, we did a deal called No Spend January, where we were locking down finances, and we weren't going to do Amazon. We weren't going to do eating out. We weren't going to do anything except what we needed to do. And what it resulted in is probably about 20 days that month we had family dinner. And the next month we went back to spend a lot, February, I call it. But at the end of the month, 2 of our kids were like, can we please go back to having family dinner? We hadn't had it near as much as we did the month before. And I'm telling you, your kids will love family dinner. We do it at restaurants too. Yeah. Even if we go out to eat, we'll do it at a restaurant. It doesn't have to be just at your table, or we'll switch it up and we'll go to the back porch. But man, it is just an amazing time that I would encourage you not to just pass through. We're going to go watch this TV and we're going to go watch that TV. It's so easy for us just to go our own ways. And this is a time to kind of draw everybody together. And so it's been a really powerful thing for us. And Kelsey is an amazing cook. So it makes it even that much better. The second habit we want to talk about, I'm going to let Kelsey talk about this one, is, and I don't know if I'm wording this right, so I'm going to let you explain, but it's the habit of individual parenting. And the premise is this, is that every one of our kids is different. And so we can't parent them all the same way. And we have had to make habits. We've had to talk a lot. There's been kids that I get along great with and kids that frustrate me and kids that you get along great with and kids that frustrate you just because we're all different. Yeah. The truth is, side note, is probably the kids that frustrate you the most are the ones that are most like you, is what we've learned. And so talk to us a little bit about what I mean when I say we parent our kids individually and not as a whole.
Yeah, I think it's just that is we have really, and we started this at a really young age. At 2, you start seeing some real, maybe even before that, some real differences in their personalities. So if you just take our 2 oldest daughters, we thought, oh, wow, we are really good parents. Yeah. Because Maddie is just this easygoing, laid back. I mean, if you look at her, because she's doing something wrong, she just starts crying, I mean, just rule follower to the T, and super, super just tender-hearted might be the word. And then we have Peyton come along, who is the life of the party. Yeah.
I say it this way.
Spunky.
I say, Maddie avoids drama. Peyton makes drama. Yes. That's the way I say it. So,
well, and Peyton will say she doesn't mean to be in it. She's trying to fix everyone's drama. And so, but somehow that girl is just always in the middle of it. And I mean, we saw that at a really young age. So what worked on Madison, discipline, connecting, rewarding, didn't work on Peyton. Yep. And it's been that way. Now they're 17 and 15, and it's still the same way. Teaching, I'll use this as an example, which I hope the girls don't listen to this, but teaching them to drive. Maddie was so easy. We jump in the car. She was like, oh, yes, sir. Whatever you tell me to do, I'll do. Peyton literally got in the car the first time and she said, I know what I'm doing. You don't have to tell me anything. Yeah. And I said, you've never driven a car. And she goes, well, I've drove a golf cart. Yeah. She just knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
And that's so different, and then you think, okay, well, I've got 2 total opposite kids. I'm going to have a third. She's bound to be like one of them. Harper Joe threw us for a total loop.
The game changer.
We call her the game changer. She is a lot of fun. I mean, all her teachers at school call her the Hot Mess Express. Yeah. She is just like going 100 miles an hour. She's our little creative brain. But I mean, she's dropping things everywhere. Yeah. And her room looks like a bomb went off at all times. Yeah. And, for me to walk in and parent her the same way I do Maddie or Peyton, for that matter, can just crush her little spirit.
Yeah. Because
in her mind, a bomb didn't go off like, this is her masterpiece, and she knows what's in those piles and leave them right there. So really learning to parent each child and what works for them, and then Will's a totally different, which he's the only boy. He's, boys are just a different breed. Yeah. And so, but I mean, 17 years and I still don't have it down. Yeah. But I just think it's really important to get to know each kid and what makes them tick and what, what makes them work, what's going on up there, even when it isn't how your brain works. Yeah. And I think that's the trickiest part. And when you say that certain kids frustrate you, it usually is the one that's most like you, because you think, why are you not getting this? Yeah. Like Harper's not a ton like me. Yeah. And so for her, I'm like, oh, she's a little different. We're thinking about this differently. Peyton is a lot like me. Yeah. And so Peyton and I butt heads a little bit more because maybe we're both in the drama. I don't know. So.
And I think you're really good at that. I think you have learned our kids very well. I think you've helped me learn our kids very well. I would say this to those of you who are listening. We have common themes and common values in our family.
Right.
We just maybe deliver those to each kid a little bit different. One of the things that Kelsey has made a mandate for our family is we're going to love God and we're going to love people. We're going to love God well and we're going to love people well.
Yeah.
And that's the value. But it may look a little bit different with each kid. And I will say there's also a lot of things our kids have in common. Yes. Every one of our kid has received a big award at school for servant heart. They love to serve people. And that's that part of love people, love God, help people that we instill, but it just looks different for each kid. And so I just want you to hear and say, we don't have different values for each kid. We've just taken it as our responsibility that we need to adapt to the way they learn, to the way they receive, to the way they grow, rather than the way we receive and the way we grow. Right. Because if that's the case, then some of your kids are going to do really well with your parenting and some aren't, because they're just wired different. And so it's very good. Very good. The last habit I want to talk about is the habit. Habit is such a weird word, because when I think of habit, I'm like brushing your teeth. But we have made it a habit in our family to point our kids to God. We want our kids to have a personal relationship with God, especially in what we do here at the church. And so we have done our best not to fix everything for them, not to just take control of everything that they're doing. But many times the best thing we can do is we can point them to God. Right. And Kelsey is so good at this. I've learned watching her so much. Many times when our kids come to us with something, our response will be, well, you know what? We want you to go pray about that. And then let's talk about it in 3 days. Let's talk about it in 1 day. Let's talk about it in a couple days. Because many times I just think parents, because they want to fix and because they want to make it better and because they just don't want their kids to be hurting or going through things, they will try to fix everything for them instead of teaching them to follow God. We had a conversation with Will not too long ago about which school he was going to be at. And we could have just said, hey, this is a school you're going to. We're the parents, you're the kids. Just get on board with it. But we saw it as an opportunity for him to praying. So we said, hey, we just want you to take a week and we want you to pray about it.
Yeah.
And he came back and he said, man, this is what I feel like I'm hearing when I pray. Well, you know what? We're gonna confirm that. We're going to encourage that, because we want him to know that he can hear the voice of God for himself. We'll do it we have a family text message that we try to pray with our kids on most days. We're not perfect. We don't get it every single day, but just, man, we're praying for this. We're praying for favor for you. We're praying for this. But I think parents have a responsibility to point their kids to God, to point their kids to their relationship with the Holy Spirit. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think that's very true. And I think it has to start at a young age. I've always heard that there's no junior Holy Spirit.
Yeah, come on.
Our kids hear the same Holy Spirit that we hear. Will's 9, and we're asking him to pray about things like which school he wants to go to and things like that. Now, a lot of dynamics play into that at 9, that we have to think through. But now we're dealing with our 17-year-old who's going to graduate in May, and she's trying to decide her next step. And she's looking to me, and she literally told me about a month ago, Mom, would you just make the decision for me?
Yeah.
I'll do whatever you tell me. And I said, no, I won't, because I know that you can hear the voice of God.
That's it.
And I said, I will do anything I can to help you get to that place, but you're the one that has to make that decision.
Yeah.
So we're going to look at like 3 different colleges and schools and what she's looking at. And I said, Maddie, you'll know because you have heard the voice of God before.
Yeah.
And you know what that sounds like. So you'll know.
Yeah.
And she immediately was like, you're right. Yeah. And I said, this is a decision you have to make, which is a pretty big life decision.
Yeah.
But I don't doubt that she knows the voice of the Lord, because she started when she was young.
Well, and the truth is we could persuade our kids to go wherever we want them to go, to do whatever we want them to do, but that's not our call off. Our call is to actually support them, to help them see. Now, and there's always boundaries with that. There's always limitations with that. There's always options with that. But a lot of times we'll just ask our kids, hey, we want you to pray about it, and we want you to tell us what brings you peace. Like what brings you peace? Because a lot of times that's the voice of God. And so I think it's so important to point them to God, to even demonstrate things. One of the things we're really big on, I'm actually really big on this, because I think I didn't hear it a lot when I was a kid, but I am really big on apologizing to my kids. If we don't apologize to our kids, then where are they going to see a healthy example of it? And so we just finished a surprise trip with Will. We went to Schlitterbahn, and I was like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make a plan, and we're going to go do this. And we ended up waiting in line for like 2 hours playing rock, paper, scissors forever. Like my hand was sore from playing so much rock, paper, scissors. But at the end of it, what I saw was an opportunity to say, hey, Will, man, I messed that up. I'm sorry. We should not have gone there first. We should. And you say, well, that's a little thing. But what it is it's an opportunity for him to see healthy forgiveness, healthy owning. That's one of our big things in our family is we need you to own it when you do something. And we have to set that example. We have to set that example for our kids. And so, I think it's super important. Any last thoughts about
We're really good at that.
parenting our kids?
I mean, it's a journey.
Yeah.
It changes every season, and really the only thing you can do is rely on God.
Yeah.
I mean, I just pray a lot. When I don't know the answer, I'm just honest with my kids. I don't know. And I'll come back later and, when I've heard God. I think what you said about peace is so important. One of my main goals in our home is to protect the peace of our home. Yeah. And whatever, we fight for peace. So if we don't have peace about a situation, we're going to change it. Yeah. And our kids know what that peace feels like. Yeah. And then they can walk in that. So I think that's really important, what you said.
Good. Really good. And it is a journey. We tell Madison, our oldest, all the time, man, we are so sorry. we did much better on the second, third, and fourth kid.
We don't know what we're doing.
But man, their kids are so full of grace when you just communicate to them and open your hearts to them. And so thank you guys so much for joining us on this podcast. As always, share, like, and subscribe. This has been fun. I'm very passionate about parenting. I'm very passionate about helping our kids get everything that God has for them. And I'm so thankful that you are with me on this journey. And so thank you so much.
Thank
we
you.
love you guys, and we will see you next time on the One More Thought podcast.